standing next to an all white field.
An all white field.
All white field.
And you're telling me there was no, it wasn't a choice.
I mean, okay. I personally would have taken myself to go to stand to the all white field.
Imagine you're hyper. So when you go.
Yeah, when you go, exactly.
Everyone else speaking. Because you free meat.
That's what it was.
Yeah, straight dog.
You know, I feel like if our ancestors saw us having this conversation, they'd be very proud of where we've gotten as a people.
Yeah, they'll be like, wow, this is making
Yeah, like sure thing. Very nice, very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the Your Mentor.
What was that? I thought
The Your Mentor Money and Youth talk show. Yes, we are live on Radio 254, guys. Ooh. I can't believe it. My brothers.
Live and direct.
Live and direct.
Yeah, so if you are here on, please say hi. Say hi to us.
Yeah. I mean, we've made it, guys. I mean, this is what overnight success is.
literally overnight success.
Literally overnight.
I slept, I woke up today.
And here we are now.
And here I am.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Money and Youth talk show, brought to you by Your Mentor. This is a talk show where more or less friends who are also business owners, entrepreneurs get together. We get to talk about the intersection between creativity and business. Because essentially we're running a business that works with a lot of creativity and talent. And we stay in a space where a lot of that isn't really monetized well, if you compare it to other spaces outside of the country, that is. So this is more or less just that. I am your host. My name is David Chai. And I'm not by myself. I am with my brothers. Let us start. Whoever is ready, introduce yourself.
Hi, rock, paper, scissors. Shoot. You're starting.
Actually, mine was rock, so you played yourself.
Wow, I played myself.
Yes.
All right. Hi, guys. Thomas Ongaro, also your host for the webinar. And yeah, also a business owner along my friends here who were with in the studio.
Oh, that's very nice. You have to top that.
I have to top that.
Yeah, top it on that level.
My name is Jeff.
He's one.
He actually topped it.
Shout out. So yeah, my name is Collins Rotich, part owner TDC, part co-host, Your Mentor. So this is a big step for us. This is the first show we've done it a bit independently in a different space than what we're usually used to. So this is a very good experience. I'm very looking forward to this. I'm excited. It's been, it's been a journey. It has. Hey, it's been 3-4 years.
This is year 4. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the 4th year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Episode.
I was looking at my dreads.
16, if I'm not wrong.
I was looking at one of the videos.
We were not the same people. We were not.
I was like, first of all, I was forgive me the dreads. I was skinny. you grow old, weight just that come. Dad word pole.
That's how you know time. That's how you know time has went by the way.
Yeah.
2 years ago you will be tukia. Someone's actually a dad.
2 years more, you start getting a belly. 2 more.
You're like what? So I think I'm very excited for this specific episode and also the journey that we've had and also what this webinar has now become a podcast because we've graduated. Actually, you said webinar though. We're not the same.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
I'm still
podcast.
I'm still.
This is actually. So we've graduated. We used to be a webinar, now a podcast.
Yeah.
And now it's now we're doing this a bit more independently. I mean,
bro, we're doing it in Radio 254. We're live right now. If you think about it, we're actually broadcasting to people who are listening to us.
Hi guys.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, so happy.
This episode is brought to you by number 1, TDC. As you can see, we are each of us wearing merchandise that was made specifically for this episode. So if you're watching this, we made ourselves very pretty for you. We hope that you appreciate us. Thank you very much. TDC, outside of working for TDC, it's done a lot for Your Mentor. To be honest, just working with your mentor and seeing what we're doing as a team kind of essentially represents what youth creative entrepreneurship is. So having TDC as one of the sponsors for the show it's an honor. So having you guys here on year 4 on a very special episode like this, I want to say thank you for that. Another sponsor for the show is The Sharp Entrepreneur. I'm holding a package right now. If you can hear crackling noises but not see what that is, it's not a bomb. I'm sorry, guys. But
I can show it to them.
Yes, please show
the
that.
audience.
Yeah.
The Sharp Entrepreneur is basically the workbook that your mentor as a program uses to actualize most of our activities. If you're a young entrepreneur and you necessarily don't know how to start off within your particular field, it just helps give you perspective, nothing more than that. Doesn't teach you anything that's rocket science. It actually just kind of reminds you what you know. So if you want a copy, it comes with a free t-shirt. You can DM the Your Mentor Instagram page or Facebook or whichever of our Instagram handles or rather our social media handles, and I will be the one to answer you. Now, guys, that was a very, very, very long intro compared to all our other intros. I think we can dive right to it. For anyone who's new to the show, what we usually do is we discuss, we have a main topic for the day, but we have kind of, I'd say, subtopics that we kind of use to bounce around as co-hosts. That way each one of us gets to share their thoughts on a topic. Our topic for the day is a very, very good one. It might sound a bit, I'd say, like theory. You know, when you're doing exams, theory is the one that has a lot of things. You read a lot, you have to write a lot, you have to explain your answer.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like it's a very good topic for us, particularly because, and we've been joking about this, we talk a lot about the topic of the day just normally. So to actualize it on the episode will be much easier. What is the topic of the day, you might ask? The topic is making your money work. What are the strategies for business owners? I'm going to repeat it. Making your money work for you. What are strategies for business owners? And to start off, I would like to give you guys a quote, the quote of the episode. And you might know this, you might have heard of it. It's very famous, and it's by a famous, I'd say, investor stroke, someone in the finance world. He says that if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Let me repeat that. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. That is by my boy, Warren Buffett. Shout out Warren Buffett. Shout out Warren Buffett. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you, old man.
Exactly. So I feel like this kind of segues into the first subtopic of the day. And this one is for everyone. I think I'll start with Thomas and then we can segue to Kolo, which is more or less defining investing and savings. Imagine someone who, I am financially illiterate, not stupid. I am financially illiterate. I just don't know what this is. How would you define it to me in the way that you have interacted with investing and saving?
Well, I'll start off by saying, as a kid, I was introduced to saving at an early age. I guess we were all introduced to saving at an early age. There was this bank account,
Jumbo Junior.
Jumbo Junior. Yeah.
You also a member of Jumbo Junior?
Funny enough.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
I wasn't a member, yeah?
But you had
But,
the coin box.
the coin box, and I always wanted to save, like in a bank, having a saving account.
And they shout out Coop Bank. They did something.
True.
That was amazing.
Very true.
Coop Bank sponsors.
Sponsors, Coop Bank. I mean, you see, you're making moves. So.
Coop Bank.
Yeah, but that was amazing because I had the thing, and I remember I put we used to put coins and savings, just little coins, you know. If you're given money, you put your money inside there. And I was pretty young. I was very young. I was around 10. I was still going to my early teens. I didn't even know what savings is. I just had an elephant that I used to put
A colorful elephant.
you know. So yeah, that's for saving, and I think I grew towards it in understanding what saving is, and understanding it's you're putting money aside to allocate it for something that you're planning for ahead. So this is money that you have a certain target probably, and when you reach this target, you know you're going to use this money for this specific thing. Yeah, so that was my first interaction with saving. Also with sweets, we used to save. You can get a bunch of sweets when
you have more money.
Yeah, but you can't finish all the sweets. So what are you going to do?
You
save the sweets for later.
Yeah, that's a good analogy, actually.
So you can't eat all of them in one night,
Yeah.
So yeah, we used to do that also with like my sister and my cousins. We used to have like us, we used to have a chama and we didn't know it was a chama. And saving for sweets, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's chama for sweets.
For sweets, bro. I'm serious.
Teach them while they're young,
yeah. That's actually effective. Wow.
It was very effective. And then later on in life, you get to meet people who have, bright ideas like the way we do, the way we met with our friends, and we gathered up the same mentality. And since it's something that I'm not fresh to, it's something that I probably interacted with, but I was still young. But it's something that you get to learn in the process. And I understood what saving is. Now, when it comes to investing, when I first investing was. It was a bit peculiar. I wasn't introduced to, I don't think most of us
the traditional investing.
Yeah, the traditional investing. Most of us are introduced like that. So when I met Collins, who is our co-host, and you really taught us more about investing, understanding what investing is, the fact that you're putting money aside to work for you, as you are not interacting with the money or any income that's coming and waiting for something to grow, and then you get something from it. Yeah, so it's as plain as that. Savings is putting a certain money aside, targeting for it to for a certain reason, for a specific reason, and then investing is you putting money aside. You can continue, the thing about investing, it doesn't have limitations. You can continue putting that money aside, and it will grow and gives you money in a later on date.
Wow.
Do you have anything like you can add?
Yes, definitely. I think maybe just to put it into a bit of a more like formal way to put it, I'd say saving is putting money aside for a specific reason, as Thomas mentioned, and investing is putting your money into a specific asset such that it can be able to earn for you money. So I think even before that, it's a bit important to define some of these terms. Money is basically a measure of value. So like if I value a certain, like value communications, so you will definitely spend money to communicate. Yeah. That's why you'll have a phone. You value food, so you'll spend money on food. Yeah. You value a vacation, you value a time off, you'll spend money for time off. So money is basically a measure for value. So like how much value can this thing give me vis-a-vis how much am I willing to pay for it? So ideally, money is just a measure of value. So if I say it's a 10K experience, I value it at 10K. So that's the first thing people need to understand. Then guys also need to understand from that deduction, what are now the different channels where you can put your money to now save and invest. Whereby saving is now putting money for a reason. Investing is putting money in an asset to grow your money. Another question is, what is an asset? And an asset is basically any resource or the financial term is like any instrument that you can put your money through, and out of that instrument, you're gonna get a return in the form of an income. Now comes in the other term, what is income? Yeah. Income is basically any earnings you get from, be it a job, be it a business income, be it real estate income, so money that you get from renting equipment or renting your land or your house or your building, plant property and equipment. There's income from dividends, there's income from interest. So there's many ways to get income, and all of these come from specific assets, and investing is basically purchasing an asset. I think that's the easiest way to put it. Buy an asset, the asset will generate for you income. So you need to understand money, income, asset, savings, investment. Once you have that understanding, you can more or less curate your own investment journey.
That's actually a perfect segue into our next subtopic, which is discussing acquiring assets. And for this one, we'll have Thomas leading the discussion.
Yeah.
Considering you have some experience in terms of assets with the company.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'd love for you to talk about is, I'd love for you to describe your experience with the process of acquiring assets.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the aspect of remember the topic is we have cash.
Yeah.
You get, now we're thinking of how can we spend this cash in a way that it's not a liability for the business. You get what I mean?
Okay.
So now can you address us how you've interacted with assets from that vantage?
New term liability.
You guys, I'm trying. I mean, we're in Radio 254. We have to use new English terms.
I remember you guys also remember the first asset I got, which was the sewing machine, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
That was the first asset we ever got from the business.
Yeah.
And I remember it was a process getting it because we weren't acquiring it locally, we were importing it. And the first thing that got to mind was something that if I was to acquire an asset for my business, it's something that would help me make my work more easier, make it more efficient.
Ease the business, improve your processes.
Improve my processes, and something that will last a longer period in time. So I went online and I searched for exactly what I wanted for, what I was looking for that. And initially I thought that the process was going to be, long. But I met, again, with good friends, we get to get...
Yeah, your network always comes through.
It always comes through, and that's what happened. We got someone who was able to facilitate for us getting the products, the asset in the country.
Yeah. I guess to add on that, ideally, if you're a business and you're thinking about investing in the business, ideally, it's very specific to your business because, of course, there's different business needs. However, how from our experience with TDC is that you look at the aspects of your business that you don't have control over, and how can you be able to gather more control. You see, for example, if you are dealing with something like maybe you're manufacturing, like for us, you're manufacturing clothing, but then you're depending heavily on an outsourced tailor. It's easier to buy a sewing machine as we did, then hire someone to now do your own in-house production, because depending on someone else's timeline might affect business delivery, because you're working on, if let's say you're outsourcing to a tailor and then the tailor has a lot of work on the end, they may not be able to deliver for you. So how do you cap that problem? You'd rather save some cash in the business, so every single time you get some cash flow, put some a bit of side, whereby you're saying this you're planning to invest in assets for the business to make it easier for the business to operate. That's a sewing machine. Another example could be maybe you're paying rent. Maybe you're doing something like you're doing...
Do you mind giving the examples with... because this is one of the questions I wanted us to break down. Tangible and intangible. The examples between both. Because you see, like with the sewing machine, that's a tangible asset. Can you break down what the difference is for someone who might not know? And then now we give the example. Might have a better way of...
Okay, in that regard, we then have to classify assets, because there's mainly 4 types of assets. There's stocks, bonds. There's equities. Equity is basically a share of a company, which is also known as stock. Ideally, you own a share of a company. So if, let's say, you put your money in TDC, ideally you own a percentage of that. That's your equity. Another way to finance your business is getting debt. So instead of we putting money into TDC, we can go get debt from somewhere else. So debt is an asset for the bank, because the bank gives you a loan, you pay interest on that loan. But debt can be an asset for an individual or even a business. You can give out, business give out corporate bonds. It's the same thing as a government bond. Ideally, government says, we need money to build this road, give us money. So you give them cash, they give you a fixed payment. Same thing to a corporate. You can give out a corporate bond, then now guys buy out that bond, and then use that cash to finance the business. And now going into your point for physical, so after you go from stocks, bonds, there's money market and cash based asset, cash equivalents. Those are like you put your money in a fixed deposit account, it earns a bit of an interest, or a savings account, then you earn interest on that. So then after that, now it comes to physical assets. These are now real estate and commodities. So when you're talking about a business, it can be a bit different because there's different types of assets for business. There's the physical resources, like we're in Radio 254, all of this equipment is assets for the business. The speakers, the monitor, microphones, all of these things are assets for the business. However, Radio 254 is a brand. That brand is an intellectual property. Get that's why someone can buy the KFC brand to come license. It's just a franchise it rather. You're just buying the name KFC. So you get your assets for a business are not only physical. There's also other non-tangible asset such as goodwill. If you do any business course and you end up doing accounting, you always have to account for goodwill. Like for example, if Radio 254 is here, then maybe they move. Then another radio station that's starting up comes here. You see there'll be a bit of goodwill because it works even better for physical locations. Let's say I own a supermarket, like Uchumi lives Uchumi Ngong Road. Then you start a supermarket there. Anyone who's ever gone to Uchumi Ngong Road knows a supermarket is there. So you'll have that goodwill of the business. So in terms of investing in physical assets, yes, you can also invest in the intangible asset. This is basically building your brand. Even for TDC, I think a big aspect of our corporate strategy or even our strategic mission is that we are really focused on building the brand and working on building that brand equity. And that gives you value. You can even dictate or leverage on that brand to get different corporate deals for different corporates. Because you tell a corporate, we have this kind of pool, they're able to finance for that.
Okay. So how would you guys... Okay, this is a very broad question, but Pia, it's very nuanced. Considering, I'm thinking there are a lot of young people who say that the point where the business is starting to make some financial sense. What piece of advice would you give them when thinking about acquiring their first asset? And I know this is a very broad question because it can be someone who's dealing with carpentry and they don't know if they should get like a sawmill or something. I'm sorry if there are any guys who do. Actually, our most recent your mentor feature was with a young man by the name of Nzola. He does very, very good wood craftsmanship. So I'm so sorry if you're listening to this and I've really butchered your profession. It's not what I want, but you get what I'm asking. What is the best approach towards going towards it? Do you think the asset that will bring in the most returns back for my business? Do you think the asset that's costing me the most amount of money to outsource? What would you guys advise? How would you approach it from your own respective artistic backgrounds? Whoever, let me start with Tommy because
So
I was looking at you as I was saying it.
Well, first of all, again, I did a background check exactly how exactly we could improve the processes in our business, and I realized that even initially, as we normally do, most of the time we use is in the workshop and alongside other tailors, but these tailors also have other duties. So it made me to think of what exactly would help reduce this backlog. If let's say if this tailor has work on on certain aspects, then maybe I could give him or help him get an intern, someone who learned from this get this asset, and also I could also use it in my own benefit in learning how to sew and stuff like that. So I initially had to do a background check for what I needed, what exactly I'm dealing with, understand the budget, and also know
your stuff.
Know that. Exactly. Know your stuff that you're gonna get this asset under this company, and is the machinery is available for if it gets spoiled and for maintenance and stuff like that.
It's funny you mentioned that. Right now, I remember I was asking myself, what's the first I'd say asset I acquired as a musician, independently, and it's a funny story. The first one that I got was a mini keyboard. And this is very obscure because I don't know how to play keyboard. I don't know why at that point. I think around, I just turned 19 when I was getting it. I had cash, and I wanted to get something that I can use to improve my music, like output. And I would have thought of getting a guitar because I actually play guitar and use it, but I didn't do my background research. You get? I didn't know my stuff. I didn't know, like, I didn't sit down and be like, okay, objectively, what do I need to acquire as an asset to get myself to the next level? And I can tell you by now it was detrimental because I don't even have the keyboard with me. Shout out to Balance, but I gave it to Balance. I didn't sell it. I did not sell it. I gave it to someone who I work with who can use it.
Who'll have more use for it.
Exactly. But just to second on your point for knowing your stuff, I don't say that I regret, but I know that with the knowledge that I have now, I would have been much more, would have had much more output with the asset that I got. Now, guys, allow me to pitch an interlude to who has allowed this episode to be brought to you. It's brought to you by TDC. If you can see the videos, which, no, I'm seated behind a screen. This is the first time I can't see the cameras. Yes, that camera over there. With this episode is brought to you by TDC. We're wearing pieces that we actually made specifically for this episode. We have new collections out. We have new, I'd say, activities out by TDC Experience. Be sure to check out the website, www.trudenimcollection.com, for new pieces. And our socials are True Denim Collection on Instagram and TDC Experience if you're a fan of music and fashion. This episode is also brought to you by... One second. You hear that? Okay, you guys don't have the headphones. But yeah, it sounds really good. It's brought by The Sharp Entrepreneur. This is the workbook that we use to guide most of the discussions that we usually have. If you're a young entrepreneur and you don't know how necessarily to phrase your ideas in the right way to come up with a plan to make your particular skill a viable entrepreneurship business, this is the book for you. If you want to purchase one, be sure to DM the Your Mentor Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever social media handles, and we'll be able to sort you out. Now, let us go to the next subtopic, and Mr. Collins, you're going to carry this part of the conversation, and it's talking about diversifying income. There is more than one way to skin a cat. That is how I phrased my notes. And I would like for you to describe why I phrase my notes that way, even if you don't have context as to why I phrase my notes this way. But I think I was talking about the end goal is always to make more money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're at a point now as a business where we're making cash, and the source of income that is safe for us, if it's business to customer, we've already kind of started to exhaust that. How can we make it such as that if that stream of income starts to dry up, the business does not suffer? That's now how I'm more or less asking about this. So how can I make sure that my business doesn't only have one source of income?
So just to clarify,
yes,
we're talking about different income streams for a business, not an individual.
Yes, I think it would be better to do it for a business, because an individual, it now comes to... it becomes a very, very complex conversation. Nice. Actually, about the time with the issue.
I would think a business is a bit more complex. So you see, a business is not, it's not ABCD. You know, at least for individual, it's a bit ABCD because there's only like 4 options that you have, and it's just about how you allocate it in those options. But for a business, you see, when you study about a business life cycle, like there's a concept known as a business life cycle, whereby it talks about a business. It starts from a startup stage, whereby you're just entering the market and you don't know anything. Then it goes to now a growth stage. So let's say you start getting your first customer. You get eventually it grows exponentially the first period because you're acquiring new customers. So each new customer is like 100% of the previous one. If you get one more, it's like, you know, like the 25% growth that you see. It's not my 3%. Then after growth stage, whereby you're growing really heavy, you reach a point known as maturity. So for example, if maybe there's only 1,000 people in Kenya, if you sell to 100 people, you're okay. So you still have 900 guys.
Yeah.
But when you sell to 900 guys, you only have a sock guys who are new in the market. You get, so you've reached a maturity.
Okay,
the market is saturated such that there's not a lot of opportunity for growth. And then after now maturity, now there's decline, whereby you're talking about whereby my income stream as a business is drying out. And then now after decline, that's now whether you either renew as a business, whereby you rebrand or change model, or you just die off. As you see many brands, especially these new tech companies that come up, they end up dying out. So coming in from a business perspective, it's a bit difficult to say how do you diversify, but I can answer it without giving an answer. I'll answer it in the theory, the theory behind how to diversify when you're a business. So when you're entering a market in the startup phase, you're more or less collecting feedback to find a product market fit. So how does my product fit into the problems for this specific market? Then you find that problem and you fix it. Sindo? Now you start getting customers from that point. The moment unaingia maturity point whereby, like you see, like Safaricom, before Safaricom acquires a new customer, as in you get they need to go to Ethiopia. So that's one way of diversifying your income. Change the market. You get umejaza the Kenyan market. Like for us, the day we reach a point whereby we've sold to the whole of Nairobi, we'll have to think about how can we localize the brand to other different counties or other big cities. Once we do that, we'll ask ourselves, okay, fine, how do you go global in terms of Kenya? Then how can we go regional? And then how can we become a global company? Once we reach a global company for that product, now you find a different product. So instead of a new market, new product. You get, primarily when you started this company, everyone knew us for denim jackets. But a few years later, once everyone was like, okay, fine, you're not this for jackets, we introduced 9 more product lines. You get, so that allows us to enter a new quote unquote, not necessarily market, but product line. So there's different ways to diversify a business income through those ways. You can change the market, you can increase product line, you can introduce a new feature. Unajua, you can basically change the way, you can even innovate. Unajua, like what happened to Blockbuster? These guys wangesema, okay, fine, we are about to die, how do we fix this? Guys are going to stream, then you go to streaming. Unajua, guys who are on personal computers, changing now to laptops, or
even Blackberries switching to iPhones. Like Nokia died out the same way. Like it's
because the business life cycle, they went to a point, you know, when you're at maturity phase and you own the market, you think you're the boss. Then Starlink comes like this. No, Safaricom is worried. You get, so you have to respond to the market because of market needs. That's how you diversify for a business. For individual, it's a lot easier. But I know you don't have the time.
You could
DM us if you want more information on how to diversify
this one,
your income.
That's the camera.
Check you guys.
We have 3 cameras. We have so many cameras.
We have 4 cameras.
Yes,
5.
You, all of you.
So, but yeah, nonetheless, if guys are interested in learning about how to diversify your income as an individual, please reach out to your mentor. Give us a DM. Tell us that's the next topic we want to talk about. We'll dedicate a whole section to teach you about all of these things and how you can apply them in your own life. At least in your own experience. We're no experts and you're no financial.
Yeah, true. By the way, thank you.
We're financial experts.
We're not financial gurus.
Yeah, we're just 3 guys here who are speaking their mind. We're 3 Rastas who are in the business community.
Rasta business community.
We are Rasta business community members.
Very ideally. For me, if you ask me that question upfront, that's what I think about. Just see where the problem is coming, change product line, change markets, innovate. Those are the 3 ways I can think about.
I'd love to get your input on
He's
it.
very right. Even when he's talking about innovating and the product line, the way we switched up from jackets and introduced more products
Even when we switched from thrifting to manufacturing, that was a way of innovating. We saw a problem and we fixed it.
And also the aspect of introducing a new form or something new besides your business. You know, people think that
a new business line even.
People think people think you're so, since you're doing this business, you can only be fixed to this business, but not really entirely, because you can through this business you can have a network of people who you want to hang out with. You can start.
Actually, you do research, you even find out some of these big companies are not what they were when they started. I don't remember the example. It was a business that just started as a lumber and now they sell fast food.
Lamborghini were selling tractors. Now they sell supercars. There's another one we were talking about. Was it Samsung Ama? The one that they're selling CGI.
It was some house. No, it wasn't even a household good. Yeah, but there's so many companies that started initially as even. I think Tusker started as Tusker. I won't.
Tusker was originally an elephant tusk cleaning business, and they grew.
Elephant grooming business.
Yes, and then they're like, wait.
There are not enough elephants.
Yes.
Yeah.
What can we do? Takes a shot.
But that's very I love the point that I feel like businesses have a lot of leeway to diversify their income. Like even for us, not without even saying a lot, we've toyed with the idea of something like Trodenim Capital, which we can use as an instrument for us to like make money through the money market, you get, as a company. And I'm sure from the outside someone would look at us and be like, yo, you guys, you make clothes, just stick to what you're doing. I might just like do events. But at the end of the day, that's something if TDC can own 100,000 shares of Safaricom, and then the price of Safaricom jumps to, currently it's I think 14 bob, yeah?
Yeah, it's 14, 15.
Jumps to like 50 bob.
It was that like this year COVID period.
As we've talked about the growth cycle of businesses, it seems like Safaricom is experiencing kind of a plateau stage or a decline.
There's a reason for it, but we won't get into it.
We won't get into it. That's a story for another day. But I feel like it shouldn't be stressed enough. Even young people who are getting into creative businesses, I have so many friends who their focus is maybe just rap. And personally for me, I wouldn't say that's very sustainable, because you can only make so much money from doing rap, especially in an environment like this one. I really respect a lot of the people we meet, and they're making heavy waves in the art form, the creative entrepreneurship thing that they're doing, but they still have other things. I'll give a very simple example. Shout out to Rezaman. We did a show yesterday with Rezaman, and we had a conversation with him about what he does outside of his music. And I won't like go into the details of it, but it really impressed me because these are skill sets outside of what I knew that you do, which makes you much more valuable, quote unquote, because value is very subjective, than I originally thought. So I guess,
skills.
That's something to think about when diversifying income. We're jumping through these subtopics, guys, because we have time that we are working with. But I think all of these are topics that we'll discuss in the future. So we don't really need to flesh out deep.
Some only surface level. DM us, please. I want at least 5 DMs, guys.
Comment,
slide through
your mentor at Radio 254 forever. Just say it. Spam their DMs, guys.
Spam
Radio 254. Say hashtag your mentor for life.
Your mentor for podcast or every day.
Exactly. Now, guys, let's segue to our second last topic of the day, which is setting up an emergency fund. Guys, we have been in this game for a long time, and we understand that life has a way of reminding you that you need to prepare yourself for the tough times. You get?
Yeah.
I've learned that necessarily you don't know that you're experiencing tough times until you're in them. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of the times I feel like as humans, we have this habit of necessarily neglecting when things are going right, and only reminiscing when they have started going wrong. And I felt like it's very important for us to discuss this, because considering you are running a business and you're making a really good turnover, and then something happens that cuts your stream. A perfect example is COVID-19. We were doing our first set of events during just shortly after COVID-19. But there was still the inconsistency of, hey, guys is coughing. So now there is curfew again. Actually, no more going out. You get that? It puts a strain in. We hadn't accounted for this to happen. So for this one, and this one is Thomas that's leading, and but Kolo, you can, as you know.
So we will share.
Yes, we shall share this cake.
I will be silent.
Hii keki tutakata. Yes. But I'd love for us to more or less, one, describe experiences we've had with matters of setting up an emergency fund. Because for you to know about the value of setting up an emergency fund, you need to have been in a situation where you're like, hey, and you know, if I just had 100,000 Kenya shillings, this problem would not be existent right now. If you are an entrepreneur, you haven't experienced this at some point. So Thomas, can you like give us your experience with this?
You know, you've said it. I was like, yeah, imagine you just being rained on and thinking, guy, I should have actually carried a
because when it rains, it pours.
And it pours. And it pours heavily. So, you know, you should have
both ways,
invested.
even in blessings.
Exactly.
Actually, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So you have to be okay, for an emergency fund, well, so you yeah. Let me start it from when we moved out. When we initially moved out, all of us from our parents' house. And when we moved out, we didn't understand life on a daily basis, you know.
Wow.
We didn't understand how life gets serious, how there's ups and there's down.
I did not know units, and bro, I'm telling you, until they ended, I was like, yo, so now these KPLC guys, when are they returning the lights?
Exactly, like, you know.
Hey, kwanza knowing how to stretch cash.
Bro.
Exactly.
Like one of the
whole week.
You know, the week will start, whether you like it or
you have
not.
to stretch cash. Actually.
Yeah.
And we at first, you know, we were so focused on trying to survive, we forgot about emergencies. You know, things actually, we're probably at the normal surface, we're thinking we're low, but things get worse. We can drown. Actually go deeper.
You think you're just thinking, eh?
Yeah,
Kume, you can drown.
You can drown, Kume.
It's only 4 meters. I'm 2 meters. I'm 1 point something. I can just go up.
I can go up, push myself up.
I can step the ground and push.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, instances hit you when you are at your lowest even. When you're at your lowest is when you can get
that's when it
actually and you're like, Akibosi.
Ako mask iko wapi? You're like, boss, it is 2024.
That happened to me during COVID. Wow.
At your lowest, you know?
And they don't even care. They'll be like, you know what, bro, I'm sorry. It's your day.
Sometimes those things happen and it's just God. God sometimes telling you, sometimes there needs to be a change here.
Yeah,
and
true.
sometimes that change
It pushes you.
is even
Actually,
things like emergency fund. But maybe to answer your question from a business perspective, from a finance function, because you know a business has different functions. There's a marketing function, there's a HR function, there's a technical team function, there's also a finance function. So primarily about emergency fund, for individuals a bit easier, just 3 to 6 months expenses, have that saved up. And the same for biashara. If you know rent ni X amount, payroll ni X amount, material ni X amount, overheads ni X amount, you can know that, okay, fine, this is what is expected. How much cash do we have at bank to be able to now cater for this should there be no incoming cash flow? Because if your expenses is like 50 to 100 rakh for the business per month, if you have 500, 600 rakh, you're in a very good position. You're in a very you're breathing. You can chop out operation 6 months and not make cash. Non-stop. Nothing flinches. Beauty. What? But you see, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. So speaking now from a finance perspective, so you know, as finance, one role of finance is budgeting. So okay, in short, finance, the main work is where do we get money and where do we put it? And that's where the emergency fund comes in. Because you see, there's different ways of getting money. Cash flow comes to a business only 3 ways. Either from operational activities, so tumeuza jacket, that's operations. There's investing activities. Tumenunua shares ya Safaricom, tumepewa dividends. Ama tumenunua sewing machine, tumeuza unajua there's ama we've invested in an apartment and then there's rental income coming into the business. As a business you can still own assets, unajua you can even buy land and lease it. So there's cash flow from operations, cash flow from investing, and then cash flow from financing. So financing activities, how will I finance the business? Is it equity, whereby the shareholders put money in the business, or is it debt? Now once we know that, finance will model how we distribute that cash, how much cash goes into production. So finance always has a budget for each department, and they make sure you stay within the budget. So finance is very stringent on how you spend your cash flow. That's why finance always asks you, do we really need this? Do we? You are an innovator. You
like, yeah, I mean,
like Thomas calls me. It's like, yo, Checky, we need to buy all of this material.
Yeah, but then he always like, yo, I just came across the best material. You guys just.
We want to buy all of this
across
now.
the best far.
Then we're like, Thomas,
For you guys,
we have to pay for transport. We have to pay for taxes. We have to pay for overheads.
We need the material, guys.
It's heavy material, bro.
It's heavy far. It's you guys.
You've never seen anything like this. We're like, okay, yes, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Ideally, that's kind of how we think in terms of finance. Like ideally we look at where is money coming from and where do we allocate it, and part of that, depending on the company, is some cash of course needs to be at bank. You need some cash for operations. Ideally for any business or individual, have 3 to 6 months expenses saved up, so that even if a hiccup happens, like COVID happened for like 2 years, if you're a business and you had 6 months worth, you'd have 6 months to figure things out. Like you see how KENYAN continued running. It's not because that that was of course money from, of course, financing a bit of debt, overdrafts, but also they had a bit of cash at bank. So it's also very essential to have that buffer, so that just in case there's zero cash for 6 months, we can at least operate. Let's close after 6 months to say tumejaribu imefail, but you have 6 months to figure things out. That's my take on that.
Perfect. Guys, we are going into the final subtopic of the day, which is very good because we're keeping time.
We on time?
Yes, that's what I was saying. This is very good because we're keeping time. We have roughly 14 minutes left. So before we go to the last topic,
we do a freestyle.
I'm gonna use it to plug our sponsors for the day. Guys, this episode is brought to you by True Denim Collection, or TDC. We are your one-stop shop for all your denim needs. As you can see, if you're watching this,
corporate and individual.
Yes, corporate
if
and
you need
individual.
Corporate merchandising, we got you.
Exactly.
We'll make staff uniforms. We'll make team uniforms. If you have a brand activations, we got you. Absa Bank, we got you. KCB Bank, we got you.
KCB, Cooperative
Bank, we'll make for you. Jumbo Junior. Elephants. Wearing denim.
They're all in denim.
Wearing denim. Radio 254. We can make this whole studio denim.
Radio 254. That was targeted at you. We know you're listening. We know you're listening. Also for B2C clients, our customers, if you want something specifically made for you, made to measure, we are the people that you talk to.
Even a gift to someone.
Exactly. Visit www.truedenimcollection.com and place your orders through there. Or even check us out on our socials at True Denim Collection. We'll be sure to sort you out. Also, this episode was brought to you by our workbook for your mentor, known as the Sharp Entrepreneur. This time, Kolo, you'll do the dance as I'm talking about it.
Do the dance.
Yeah, do the dance. Nice. He's doing the dance. So, guys, the Sharp Entrepreneur is a workbook that your mentor more or less uses to guide our different talks, be it for the talk show that we conduct, or even for the different young people that we work with to more or less bring their stories to life. If you're a young person and you don't know how to more or less start with actualizing your talent, this is the workbook for you. If you want to get it, be sure to DM or send a direct message to any one of your mentor's communication handles. We'll be sure to have you sorted out. Guys, we have 9 minutes, so we need to finish this last topic and sign out.
Okay.
We'll be very, very brief with it.
Quick, one time.
Retirement planning.
Damn.
Retirement plan.
I was baiting you guys because this is a very heavy topic.
It is, yeah.
I put it last intentionally because, hey, if you're listening to this, there's a huge chance you're a young person, and I don't know whether or not you're involved in creativity, but you are doing something that's making you cash. One day you will not be young anymore. We are all, there's one thing that we can't all beat, it's Father Time. or mother time. We are yes. No. This is a space that we support all of them, but you can't beat time. So for me, I wanted to more or less understand, or even at the very least touch on the fact that everything that you're doing will lead to a point where you don't necessarily have to do that anymore. You get, we wouldn't necessarily have to do what we're doing in TDC forever. You get, we'll get to a point where we don't have the strength to do it. You see this energy that we usually deal with problems daily. Guys, before we came here, we've dealt with so many problems, but we've done it because we're young. But how do you guys, in very, very few words, how do you guys think, okay, according to my notes, how can young business owners begin preparing for long-term financial security?
Collins, we're not retiring just to start. So stop cheating my friend over here about retiring. We're not retiring.
But this is for life. This is for life.
This is for life.
TDC is for life, guys. If you join us as an employee,
Do you remember that start we got?
No, I thought if we're retiring, we're handing over to the next generation.
No.
Nah. We're doing it like the government. We're keeping it.
Wait.
Hey, jokes, guys. I love you. I love the government, guys.
You wait, no.
So,
But yeah, just we are running out of. How can you save for the inevitable end?
Should I take this?
Yeah, please take this.
So, it seems, whether we like it or not, this boils back to, I think, 2 questions back when I was asking you, how do you diversify as a business, or how do you diversify as an individual? Sorry. So, the only way I can answer your question for retirement, because I could answer it very easily. I could tell you that you should do a pension plan. I'm sure all of us have heard the word pension plan, and you do not know what pension plan means.
Yeah.
We've had things like insurance, life insurance, health insurance.
Bro, Adi, I hear phones have insurance.
Even businesses, there's business insurance. Actually, you should really insure your business because things can happen. Like, you see what happens in Gikomba?
Yeah,
Kuchomeka. So you make sure all your business are insured so that you're able to.
This way I love this. I've learned something right now. I'm like gonna go home and research on business insurance, bro. Well, that's crazy.
It's because it also helps you also, like, in case of, okay, I don't want to misinform people, but in case of like really adverse conditions that you even have to close up, I think there's a way you get covered. So insurance, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. And then, so basically what I was just trying to say is that there's so many different instruments for you to set up your personal finances. To answer your question on retirement, the easy answer is join a pension plan. And a pension plan is whereby you put money for the long term, whereby when you retire, you get monthly payments from that pension plan. Or you get a lump sum payment at age 65 or 60, depending on what your employer says. But there's also individual plans you can just pay for yourself. Same thing as insurance. You know, most guys don't know you can just pay for your own health insurance. And it's not expensive. You can pay, I think the cheapest is like 24k a year to like 150 plus a year for a family of like 4. You know, like you
don't necessarily know you need life insurance until you experience health insurance. Until you experience a situation where you
and even Equity Alpha does well. They have even MTIB or something.
Yeah,
like there's so many options to. But
all insurance companies. You better sponsor us for plugging in to young people.
I want Equity Bank.
Afia and bank.
But okay, let's get focused. So I think if you're thinking about retirement, you can't think about your retirement without thinking about your personal finance journey. And your personal finance journey is everything around your money. Basically, how do I save? How do I invest? What is my relationship with my loans? Basically, how do I handle my money through and through? Because me personally, if you ask me what's my retirement plan, I'm accumulating assets over the long term. And I'm sure when I'm 40, I'll have enough assets to not need to work anymore. Like, they'll be paying me interest annually that I'll be able to pay my own bills and even be able to send my kids and grandkids cash. You know, like even pay for their school. And even when I die, I'll have a whole estate with a will that dictates how that money goes. Because even another part of your personal finance is wealth protection. How do you, and even like tax, how do you manage your tax rather, like as in, so it's a whole embodiment of many things. To answer your question, it's easier to start with a bit of understanding what options are there for the different ways to grow your money, and then being disciplined over a long period of time. If it's something like money market, it'll give you anywhere from like 8 to like 12, 13, 14%, depending on the specific company you're using. And imagine that 14%. If you have a meal, that's 140K a year.
Yeah.
You get 140K a year is like maybe 12K a month. If it's not a lot of cash,
But it's
a lot.
Yeah, you can do something.
imagine
more or
per
less.
day.
yeah, 3 sock a day, 9K, yeah, 3 sock a day, yeah, 3 sock a day. That, I mean, it's not a lot, but I mean, I can afford that piece of coffee.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
a-
True.
If you have 10 million and you're earning 10% of that 10 million, that's a mic. That's 100 is 80K a month. You get it's so it's where you put your money and how your money grows this money. The richest man in Babel always talks richest man in Babylon, yeah. This one in Babylon talks about how your children's children, like from each money you're earning, save a little, put
For
that
you.
somewhere where it's earning more money, and then from those monies, put those somewhere where it's earning more monies. So for me, my retirement plan is not a pension plan. My retirement plan is my whole portfolio. In terms of what physical assets do I have, in terms of the land I'm going to accumulate, what stock portfolio do I have in terms of local stocks, global stocks, you know, and even regional stocks in Africa.
Yeah.
You can buy shares from MTN UG, even Umeme is a Ugandan KPLC, and
Yeah,
they're in our stock market.
Yeah.
You know, so it's my real estate, it's my money markets, it's my SACCOs, it's my all of these things that I put in order to now fill up my whole portfolio. You know, even crypto, like as in, to be honest, if you bought crypto when I was 16, right now, to be honest, me stodanganya say kwa fire TDC. Sco baggers, me if I had
Umeturuka live on radio 254.
Nige buy stuff 3K.
My mans would not even be here. My mans would not even be in Kenya.
I know.
You know,
Be sipping a margarita in-
DC was birthed because of struggle. We were like, we are broke, we need to do something. You don't tell me if you had crypto over here,
You'd be like,
and then COVID happens and I still have crypto.
yeah.
Time it hey.
Maybe wish I sold NFTs. I'm gonna lie to you.
So you get, like, as in, it's accumulation of those things.
Yeah.
But a simple answer for people I'd say is that, okay, fine, educate yourself on personal finance, understand what options are there, read about SACCOs. SACCOs are a good way of earning very high interest. Like you can get 10.5% and even 14% for deposits. Even there's some companies that give even 20%. I think Polisacco is giving 18%. Can you imagine? Government bond ni 12%.
Damn,
Unapewa 18%. As in, ukiwa na mita moja unapewa 80K. Ama ukiwa na 10M
Young
unapewa
people,
28M.
young people, don't let the name police from police circle
Yeah.
Don't
chase
let
you
them
away. That's how. That's what they do to play with you. They don't want you as members, but they give high yields.
They give yields. Actually, a lot of these institutional circles, like even Stima Sacco has good.
Yeah.
Kenvarsity Sacco is another that has 20%. Imarisha Sacco, I think, has 18 to 20.
Yeah.
So you find that there's ways you can put your money in different classes, and then the interest can help you survive. But that's on the easy one. Retirement plan, pension, there are also options. All of these financial institutions have different financial instrument to give it. Like I was saying, there's people have had pension, they've had insurance, they've had money market, they've had all of these things. So confusing. But all of these things are just different products for these companies which sell the same thing. It's equities and stock. The whole finance industry is equities and stock. Equities and debt, sorry.
That.
So, my guys, this was an amazing episode. That was our final topic of the day.
Are we on time?
We have done it for 58 minutes, guys.
58
We
minutes.
have 2 minutes of rap. 1 minute, 1 minute.
Yeah, actually, no. 30 seconds each, so I can rap for the final one.
You
For the
also
last
want to
minute.
rap? Okay.
Yeah, I'll give it.
Okay.
So a parting shot. No, not actual rapping, like wrap up. No, wrap up. No, it's
Freestyle.
these guys were holding the mic like they're about to kill it. No. Just a parting shot.
Razorman showed us yesterday.
Yo, shout out to Razorman by the way. That guy
Razorman
killed
can
it.
rap. Freestyle.
But a simple parting shot related to the topic, or doesn't even have to be related to the topic. Just your last shot until the next episode.
I start? Well, mine is simply to advise guys that when you start business, as you've said and as you heard, there's many other ways in making money within the business that necessarily don't need you to spend either your time or your effort. And I'd advise you guys to go check out what my brother Collins here has advised also about circles, the money markets in general. And also, if you want to learn more about pension, go check out. There's guys like Old Mutual who do it. And they can show you how, they can give you options. Yeah, that's basically.
Sponsor. Collins?
For me,
Yeah.
follow me at C_routine on Instagram.
I respect that. This guy knows what he's doing. This is actually the biggest platform we've had, so we'll actually milk it for what it has.
But all jokes aside, since the topic is about handling your money, for me personally, the biggest thing I can advise someone, the first step is always spend less than what you earn. And from that, save and invest. And for saving and investing, just educate yourself on the different options that are there, because they exist. Like, people buy shares, people put money in money market, people don't save money in banks. If you do research, you'll find that there's I think a very small amount of people who have over 500k in liquid in the bank, because guys don't use money they don't keep money in the banks. They keep money in all of these different assets. And educate yourself. Like, Bamburi was 18 bob, I think a year ago. Now it's like 60 something bob. If you spent 18,000 bob, your 18k is 63,000. I'm not gonna lie to you, there's no way you're gonna get that kind of return. But it's all about
We won't say anything, but okay, yes. So
that's your problem.
But
ideally, just educate yourself. This is one way to learn, but don't take this as just a light note, and 1 hour is not enough to cover some of these things. So just take your time, and start, build your small network. It helps. It's nice thing, and at least I have more money than
when I started the year. Yeah.
But every year you grow, you see that, okay, fine, maybe last year I was worth, if you start off, maybe like you're worth 50k, now you're worth 100k. It's a growth.
I think for me, all I'll say is thank you to, number one, my co-hosts. You guys, from where we were doing it to where we currently are. Bro, for real, they not like us, for real. Like, I'm seated here, I'm wearing very exclusive TDC merchandise. I'm in Radio 254. And we've conducted the episode like we've conducted it for the last 4 years. It's a dream come true. We're live right now. Like, we've had viewers who've been listening to us.
Shout out Radio 254 by the way. Thank you so much.
Shout out, Radio 254 team. You guys are doing an amazing thing. You guys are putting on Kenyan music on top of even putting us on to do our thing here. Please keep doing what you guys are doing. You're really, really amazing. To our viewers, you guys are also a reason why we do this. It's always fun knowing that we've built like a base of people who would actually tune into the next show. You guys don't know this, but I've had people ask me, like my friends outside of this friend group, because this is one of the major friend groups, asking me like, yo, you guys aren't doing episodes. And for us to have this as an output after the hiatus we've been on, it's amazing. So thank you to you guys. Thank you to the Your Mentor team, the ones who are not necessarily here, the production team. You guys necessarily have equipped us with the expertise to be able to hold a show like this independently without having you here. So this is as much your output as ours. Thank you for that. And
thank you to Ngamao.
Thank you to Ngamao. If you've watched from the Radio 254 live stream, you've seen a man near the couches. You've never seen him before doing Your Mentor things. Probably you've seen him at a TDC, but he has officially without wanting, gotten the role of official your mentor, Money and Youth talk show producer.
And officially official now.
Exactly. Guys, I feel like we would leave the air, but thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Money and Youth podcast by the Money and Youth talk show by your mentor, and my name is David Chai.
My name is Collins Rotich.
My name is Thomas Ongaro.
And we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much.